My name is Troy Kloppe. I am the NC Programming Manager here at ADDMAN. We get asked quite a bit the difference in between a 3-axis and a 5-axis machine. The 5-axis machine has 2 additional rotary axes that allows us to machine complex parts in fewer setups with better surface finishes.
Classically in our world, 3-axis machines, if you remember Cartesian coordinates as a kid in school, you have x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. Most machine tools have travels along those axes. So if they just have those, it's a 3-axis machine. Typically, if you have 4th and 5th axis, there are rotations about one of those axes. So in our industry, it's often, it's A, B, and C. So A is a rotation about X, B is a rotation about Y, C is a rotation about Z. And if you take 2 of those rotation axes and 3 of those linear axes, you can get to anywhere inside a hemisphere or something like that. So you can get all these different vectors for making parts.
Having those added axes allow for a wider range of part designs within limitations, because each machine still has physical constraints to it. But it really does kind of open up the playbook on what you can build and what you can design. And depending on how those machines are configured, they've got multiple different types. AC, AB configuration machines, trunnion machines, see on the table. It depends on how you configure those, but it really sets the table for a lot of capabilities. And we see that a lot in the complex contours that you have on aircraft parts.
And in aerospace, what really drives that is the airplanes aren't square. They have contoured surfaces, lots of angles. So that drives the need to be able to kick the tool off of a classic X, Y, Z axis. And nowadays in our world, we see tons and tons of holes going in. Those holes go in normal to the surface of the airplane. And so they have to have 5-axis stuff.
And as they're going to these tighter tolerance, full-size determined assembly requirements, having that 5th axis allows us to meet those requirements for the hole positions and location tolerances that you can't meet with the 3-axis machine. Now, the 3-axis machines are still a nice capability to have, especially on the hard metal side, because they're typically a lower cost machine, both from a capital expenditure and from an operations standpoint. And they create a nice mix of roughing capabilities and low cost finishing with the higher end 5-axis capabilities.